Hi, this is Ruben from the class help desk. We're here today to do a demonstration on creating a DIY report for no-show services. If you're not sure what that means, then feel free to contact us and we can talk to you about it further and help you get that set up. But we'll assume from this point forward that that's been set up for you. So the first thing that you'll need to do to be able to report is to be able to access reports and accountability. So if you can't access that or see what I can see on the left side here down the bottom, then contact your class administrator for further assistance with getting access to that. Then on the top left side, you can see reports. We'll be clicking on that to open the reporting section of class. So the report that we're going to be using is called DIY Service Client. You can see I'm just typing in the display name filter up the top left here and then hitting enter, which will help me quickly find what I need. So we click on DIY Service Client. This report contains all information about services and clients, which is generally going to be helpful for 99% of your queries. So just on the left here, you'll see a filter panel. A lot of the defaults will be okay for you in terms of this. I only have a few services here, so my date range is just going to be set for the current month today, which is August, when I'm recording this. If you want, you can use date range if you want to look at how many per calendar year, for the current calendar year that you've been looking at. So if it's a rolling date range like that, then you can use this rolling date range section, but it's fine. You can just change the dates as you go here. Service date completed service is what we actually want here in additional reporting dates. Under funding category, I'm just going to select everything. It's probably better for this type of purpose to be as inclusive as possible. That way you'll see all of your no-shows. If you miss a funding category out, you might not see all of your no-shows. So from here, the next step is to actually add our fields to the report. So what we're going to do to bring up the field list is anywhere in the top little third of the screen here where it says drop row fields here, etc. We can right click and select show field list. So that brings up all of the fields that we can add into the report. The first one that we want to add in is the service type because that's what we're filtering on. For those unfamiliar with how to bring up the search bar in Chrome, on a Windows machine it's Control F, and on an Apple machine it is Apple F, and then you can just type a search query and it'll look on your current page and find that term, which helps me navigate the field list a little bit easier. So you can see it's highlighted service type because it's found that. I can click and drag that into the drop filter fields here section. You can see the little arrows on either side of the field to say this is where it's going. So right now we can't actually filter anything yet because we haven't selected any data. So we're just going to continue populating the rest of the fields. So one field that we want is the service ID if we're going to list services. We're going to drop that into the drop row fields here. So everything else is going to go into this section here. For basic list reports, that's where 90% of your fields are going to go to. So the next field that we would have is the first name of the client, and the last name of the client. You can see I'm deliberately dragging one after the other here. The order can be important in terms of list type reports. They might display a certain way in terms of how they group. If you're not sure about what that means, then again, feel free to get in touch with the class help desk and we can help you talk through it a little bit more. But for now, just trust me on this one. So another field that we might be interested in is the assigned to. So we might be able to get in touch with the person who worked on that service and find a little bit more out. They might have some more information about why they couldn't show up. That might be helpful. And then the last one that might be useful is the open date. So at this point, we have all of our fields. We have our filter set up. We can close the field list. We can close our filter, and we can click load report. At this point, that's not going to give us everything because right now it's still showing for all services. So what I can do is you can click service type. You'll see that there's a little funnel shape symbol at the top right here. That brings up a filter list. Unselect show all, just select no show. So these are your no-show services. Your center might call them something else, Turnaways, something like that. So now this is a list of all of the no-show services for the first 4 days of August of 2020 in our little dummy center. So this is a basic idea. If you want to do counts, then feel free to get in touch with us and we can talk you through how to further customize this. If you want to break it down by different fields, again, we can help with that. The next step, basically the final step here, is you want to save your report so you can run it again. You just click Save As, give it a name that makes some sense to you. And we probably want to leave the save changes unticked. That way, if someone makes substantive changes, the next time you open the report, it reverts back to what it was, and you can go back to it. So that'll open in a new tab. This is our saved DIY service report. If you want other people to be able to access the report, you can actually then click the sharing button. So what that allows you to do is have other users who have access to DIY reports be able to run this report, and you can control whether or not they can make any changes to it themselves. They can't actually change your original report, but whether or not you want them to be able to play with the filters or not. So generally, we just use unlocked editable, which lets them do what they want within that report, but they still have to save it as if they want to have permanent changes. Generally, you might want to share that with your other advanced admins or a particular role, or if there's a particular person, then you can use the Users tab on the right. That basically concludes how to create a DIY no-show list. You'll see my typo, no sal list. That's okay. We can always come back to that and rename it later, but I'm sure you won't make the same mistake that I did. All right, if there's any further questions, you can use our portal to create a ticket or email us at icthelp@clcs.org.au. Thank you.